Welcome back to another edition of the Horseman Pro Football Talk podcast. I am Brad.
And I'm Hefe.
And we are headed in. We got 2 weeks left and into the week 16 predictions. So you got a note here that says this is the biggest NFC East game of the decade with the Eagles and the Cowboys. It lost a little bit of its luster yesterday.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
The Cowboys are now down 3 games. They can't get back in this. They just can't. Is that right? I mean, there's 3. I mean, I guess it could. I guess if they beat the Eagles and they win out and the Eagles lose out, then the Cowboys get the tiebreaker.
Right.
I don't see that happen. What I need to know from you is, are the Cowboys that overrated, or was I right about the Jags? Go.
Oh, that's a tough question.
I put you on the spot on purpose.
But when it comes down to it, I really think it's about the Jags because I think the Cowboys are a really good team too. Like, don't get it twisted. They still have one of the better defenses in the league. They have been all year. They gave up a lot of points. But, it's the NFL. That'll happen at some point. But, look, the Jags have consistently gotten better. They've had a couple games this year where they didn't put it together offensively and defensively. They got smacked around a little bit. But there are a lot of examples. You go to every win that they have this year, and they're putting it together offensively where they usually struggle as a defense, and they gave up a lot of points to Dallas as well. So you still have to knock them there. They're still rebuilding on that part of the team. But offensively, if you're a Jags fan, like with the pieces that you have there, you drafted Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne in the same draft, so you're going to have them together for a while. You just signed Christian Kirk to a 5-year deal. Zay Jones looks like a guy. I don't know what his current contract looks like, but I assume they're going to be looking to extend him because he's looked like a superstar as their number 2 over the last half of the season or so. So they have a lot of pieces on the offensive side that they can look at and feel good about. They just have to rebuild the offensive line. Then you look at the defense again, they're going to have to continue rebuilding that. But I think the Jags in modern day NFL, where you need to be able to put points up, they can compete with anybody.
Yeah, I told you, and we're on the same page, right? Because when we talked a couple weeks ago and I talked about the Jags and their confidence, it's that early confidence. And it's that it wasn't that we've got our shit together and we're going to make a run. It's that we have turned a corner, and they certainly not only have turned the corner. Now they're headed down the right avenue. It is no doubt that Peterson has been good for this organization, and that him and Lawrence are going to do amazing things there. I mean, are they going to be a contender? I don't know, but they're certainly going to put a winning program together. And so Cowboys, I give them a little bit of leeway with that. The Cowboys might be a little bit overrated. And there's certainly, when we talk about the Eagles took a lot of heat early for having a weaker schedule. And we talked about that, about how they finally got through. They beat a pretty damn good Bears defense Sunday. The Eagles are legit, man. And everybody knows it. And we talked about how legit the Vikings were. Now we've seen that kind of, dude, I don't know. The Eagles might win this thing. They might run through the next, what would be 5 wins and find themselves in the Super Bowl. So
that's what I was thinking yesterday as I was watching that game unfold. I just started thinking, like, if you look at the AFC, everybody all offseason and all season talking about the AFC so good, so good, so good. When it comes down to it, I don't know if any AFC team is going to be able to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, anybody's beatable, right? Somebody may call us on that. I get that. Anybody's beatable. But right now on paper, the Eagles look unbeatable. And I don't expect that to change this week. I expect this to be, now they're going to be in Dallas, right? So, I mean, this is a big game. But I expect the Eagles to I expect them to talk about this, to be prepared. I mean, Sirianni, he knows what he's doing. And they're going to know this is now we're going to kick the Cowboys while they're down. This is it. We're going to take the division in style and show everybody we belong in the playoffs. We belong to be the number 1 seed, and put everybody on notice that we're making a run for the Super Bowl. And I think it starts this week.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. Honestly, excited to be able to watch this game. And look, I think the Cowboys, the thing with the Cowboys and why I think they're legit is because, obviously when you go into the playoffs, middle of the winter, you got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to play good defense. And they have finally, Mike McCarthy and their offensive staff, they have finally figured out how to utilize Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott together. And they've mastered that, and they just got to get Dak to stop turning the ball over. If Dak doesn't turn the ball over, they're rolling people with as good as that defense is. So I think this is going to be a competitive game. This is one where I think it's going to be close because both teams like to run the ball so much. But at the end of the day, I'm with you. I just think no matter how good the Cowboys have been, like I think they're legit, but it doesn't matter how legit I think they are. The Eagles are currently the best team in the NFL, best record in the NFL, and I don't see the Cowboys being able to beat them.
Yeah, and to go back to the initial statement, what you made the biggest NFC game in the East. This is what NFL football is all about right here. This game, big hype, two big teams. They're going to slug it out. The Cowboys will know that if they lose this game, that there's no shot at the East. I mean, they're backed up against the wall. So this should be a really, really good game, and I'm looking forward to it.
And I would love to know what you think about this game, what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. You let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.